Welcome to JT's Vintage Card Room, hosted by me, JT. Today I'm going to talk about a set that really not a lot of content creators, at least that I have seen, have shown. And that is a 1935 Gaudi 4-in-1, which I have I guess you would say I have the set. I mean, there is a lot of to the set that is there's variations, and in general, I don't do variations for a lot of my different sets. I usually have I have all the cards, the base cards. I guess you call it a base set. There you go. Let's go with a base set. This set, again, 1935 with Gaudi. A lot of the same pictures that you see in the 1933 Gaudi cards. It's labeled the R321 set by the American Card Catalog. And it is, I think it's pretty awesome. There is, I think, there's well over 100 different variations to the set. There's 36 different cards, and on the back there's puzzles, and the puzzles are there's like individual players like Mickey Cochran and Jimmy Fox, and there's also team cards. Frankie Frisch is one of those individuals. There's also team cards for the Tigers, for the Indians, and the Washington Senators. And I was going to actually do a video on the 1938 Gaudi Heads Up, which is one of my favorite sets, but John Mangini just did one. And what am I going to do, usurp the president? No, can't do that. So I'm going to talk about my 1935 Gaudi 4-in-1 set. And this is a very attainable set. It's I won't say it's cheap, but they're not terribly expensive. Obviously, the biggest card is the Ruth, and I do have that. Way back when, definitely before the pandemic, I actually bought a starter set just because I thought it was kind of neat, and it had the Hank Greenberg card, which I really liked, and it also had the Dizzy Dean. At the time, I don't know if I had any Dizzy Dean cards, and they were all in pretty nice shape. You'll see a lot of these are basically fives, which is awesome grade. So yeah, I just think they're kind of neat. So why don't I just show you some cards? I'll start with this first one, and hopefully I don't get too far out of order, but this has 3 Hall of Famers in it. Chuck Klein, Burley Grimes, and Kai Kyler. It's a really nice card. And like I said, a lot of the images are exactly the same as what you see in the 33 version of the set. Some of them, obviously, like Greenberg, which we'll get to, do not have an image of 33. The Hank Greenberg rookie is from 1934 Gaudi set. This one has 1 Hall of Famer, and that's Jim Bottomley. And next we have Frankie Frisch and Dizzy Dean. It's a great image. The 33 Gaudi Jimmy Dean. Thinking of breakfast sausages. Dizzy Dean is one of my all-time favorite cards. I think it's a really neat card. And by the way, there's the back, so you'll see some of the puzzle pieces that are on the back. This one is, I'm not really sure who that is. I tried to put the puzzle together, but because I have just the 36 regular cards to the set, it's kind of hard to really get all of them. Here's one with Heine Manouche on it. He's the only Hall of Famer on this particular card. And I like them. Again, some of the borders, or picture frames, if you will, have red backgrounds. Some have blue. Here's one of the blue examples. This has red roughing. Tony Lazzeri and Bill Dickey. That's a 3-for-1. Really, really nice card. I like the blue backgrounds probably a little bit better. I think the images pop a little bit more on those. Here is just a regular common, but we like those too. Here is one Hall of Famer on there, Jackson. Stonewall Jackson. I didn't notice another one. No. Oh, and Bill Terry. My bad. Bill Terry on there. Nice card. Just a common. I don't know why this set doesn't get a whole lot of love. I mean, there's really no big rookie cards. I guess that's one thing. That always seems to be a big thing. You got the Wayner brothers, Big Poison and Little Poison, and there's the Hall of Famers there. Again, these are really nice shape. There's a Mickey Cochran puzzle piece on the back. Looks like it's just his feet. There's an actual Mickey Cochran card. I think this is the first one I ever got to this set. This goes all the way back to the PWCC days, which I'm dating myself there. This might have gone all the way back to 1990, not 1990, 2017. When I first got back into the hobby. But this has got Al Simmons and Mickey Cochran on here, which is a pretty nice card. I'm pretty sure this is the first one of these I ever bought, and I just thought it was a good card to have because you got two great Hall of Famers from the 30s during their playing days on one card. Here we have Jim Bottomley again as the sole Hall of Famer on this card. Here we have no Hall of Famers on here. Joe Cronin, the sole Hall of Famer on here. Cronin has 3 cards, I believe, in the 33 Gowdy set. Just to show some backs here and there. I did put this again as best I could, this puzzle together on the back end. It was nearly not. There's too many holes missing, too many cards missing to really make a real run at the puzzle set. And I have really no interest, as I mentioned earlier, in filling out sets just to fill a puzzle piece that I'm never going to have anyway. I mean, these are all basically in a PSA box, so there's no reason to really get too crazy with all this stuff. And I just lost my place. Oh boy. I guess this goes like this. 5E6F. Let's see what we have here. Goose Goslin. One of my favorite cards from the 33 Gowdy set. Forgive me, I might have shown this one already. When I showed the box, everything kind of went out of order there. Here's another one with the blue background, featuring the great Mel Ott. Once again, looking pissed off as he always does. Somebody's cap. Pie Traynor, the Hall of Famer on this one. One of the greatest third basemen of all time for the Pirates. Let's see what we have here. Just a Dazzy Vance being the most famous. I'm pretty sure he's a Hall of Famer. Back of beginning of an Al Simmons puzzle. I'm curious. I thought I had notes on here, and I see if the total was. I want to say there's 114 different combinations. I don't think there's any Hall of Famers on this one. None on this. And again, I know this is not terribly exciting showing all the cards, but I haven't looked at these in a while. I'm glad I pulled these out. Here's the Hank Greenberg. I love that card. Just because you don't see a 33 image of Greenberg because he wasn't playing then. And I just think that's neat because it doesn't look anything like the 34 rookie card, which I also have, and I'll show one day. This looks like it's more of a team card on this one, on the back. But Greenberg is one of my favorite guys to collect. No Hall of Famers on here. Billy Herman, not a Hall of Famer, at least not in America. I believe Billy Herman is a Hall of Famer in Japan. There's a little background. You got Joe Vosmick and Earl Averill. I think it's Averill is how you say it. Pull these out. Let's see what we got. Moose Haas on this one. Ted Lyons is the Hall of Famer. Like I said, I mean, I think this is a very collectible set. You know, obviously 33 Goudey can get pretty damn expensive trying to put that together. 34, certainly a little more attainable, but, you know, obviously the Gehrig cards are certainly not cheap. And that can get a little rough. 38 is a very, very gettable set. The DiMaggio is kind of expensive. The Feller, which many consider his rookie in 38, can get up there. There's some other nice cards. Again, check out John Mangini's recent video on the 38 Goudey. I don't want to steal any of his thunder. Here's the back on this one. Red Rolf is the only, it's not a Hall of Famer, but it's a name that I'm familiar with. Rick Farrell and his brother Will. Rick is a Hall of Famer. He's the guy right there. That's one of my favorite all-time 1933 Goudey cards. Bump Hadley on the back of this one. Here's this. This has Whitehill on it, which is not a big name at all, but at least not that I'm aware of. But it reminds me of a card that I bought of his, completely overpaid in an REA auction a long time ago. I don't know why. I was nearing the completion of my 33 set, and this was a really nice card, and I kind of bought it and paid way too much. So there's a little story that don't mean much to many people. Here's a Doc Kramer card. Doc Kramer, I'm down in South Jersey. Doc Kramer is a local hero here. It's a nice background. Looks like the Senators. But yeah, Doc Kramer was, he's a borderline Hall of Famer. And no Hall of Famers on this one. We're getting to the biggies. I've already showed some. All right, here's Jimmy Fox. Is there another one on here? No. This was the last card I got to complete the set. This is Mickey Cochrane and Charlie Gehringer. So I have mentioned in some of my previous videos that Charlie Gehringer's 33 card with that purplish background is one of my favorite cards of all time. This is a very similar image of Gehringer, but it has the red background, which is interesting. Here we have Luke Appling's the only Hall of Famer here. We have Luke Sewell. His brother Joe was a Hall of Famer, known for rarely striking out ever. But Luke is not a Hall of Famer. Luke Appling is. And here we have, here's Earl Averill again, and that's it as far as a Hall of Famer. And last but not least, certainly not least, Babe Ruth. This is Babe Ruth's last playing days card. He had played for the Boston Braves here. He took the job mostly because they promised him to be manager, I believe. That turned out to be an empty promise. And Babe kind of hung up the glove. Hung up the glove basically as soon as he was aware that that managerial dream was never going to come true. Here's the back of that card. So yeah, this is a very, well, I shouldn't say very, it's a pretty inexpensive card for Ruth. I mean, to have Ruth in a 5, maybe this card will cost you 5 grand, maybe a little more. Maybe a little more. I haven't priced these out in a while, but anyway, that's my 1935 Gaudi 4-in-1 set. I hope you enjoyed the video. I appreciate you guys checking me out. And just remember, we're trading paper for cardboard. Do it responsibly, but it's just paper for cardboard. I hope you have a great day.